I would always find things, whether it was crucifixes, coins, but it was just so obnoxious all the time. I mean, it was just like they were just really constantly because once the spirit world gets somebody that will be a worker, they want you to work. And so I'm just so happy they didn't give up on me, and they kept encouraging and nudging me and being obnoxious with me, so that I would know that I was being guided and directed, and that the unseen was becoming seen. And I do see colors, auras, and different energies at times when it's appropriate. No, when it's appropriate.
Today we have special guest Reverend Donna Lopez. She was ordained at Harmony Grove Spiritualist Association in 2007. She is author to ETS Energetic Transmissions through Spirit Photography 2nd edition. Many who have read the book have experienced the downloads, had wonderful experiences as the book's energy imparts. ETS Energetic Transmission Sessions is the YouTube Reverend Donna, where she shares weekly energy forecasts, channeled messages for the month. She loves healing, her family, spirit family, and everyone who shares the path. First, I want to ask about, it's the first Spiritualists Church that you are a reverend at, right?
No, it's Harmony Grove Spiritualist Association. That's where I was ordained, but we have about 5 different spiritualist churches in the San Diego community.
Okay.
So,
is one of them called the First?
Yes, there's one called First Christian Spiritualist Church, and there's one First Spiritualist Church.
Okay.
So they have the same name except for the Christian.
Okay.
In one.
And what is a Spiritualist Church?
The main philosophies in spiritualism are that we believe that there's life beyond death, that man never dies, that it's nothing but a chemical change, but also that we maintain responsibility for our choices and our actions. It's not as if anything supersedes to take over those so-called sins or missteps. We don't consider them sins or missteps. We consider it learning. And we believe that the soul returns to continue to fulfill its journey here and to continue to evolve as a beam of light.
What would be the main difference between the Spiritualist Church versus like a Christian or a Catholic church?
Well, the Spiritualist Christian Church, they believe in the philosophies and ideas of the Bible. We're open to all denominations, and even those who have no denomination. In that way that we're different. We believe in treating people as we would like to be treated, but we support one another in our growth. So to come into a spiritualist church, you're going to probably experience auric healing. So you would sit on a stool, and there are healers that would come in and work around your energy field. They don't touch you, they just work around your energy field and transmit the beautiful healing energies and light that flows through. And so they're not channeling their energy, they are open and allowing the light that is to flow through and to go to the area of the recipient's need. We don't always know what that need is. And so we're just vehicles for that energy. We do sing and pray and meditate in church usually. But to hear us speak, we would speak, a lot of the things that we would share would be channeled information that has come to us through our relationship with our spirit guides and our teachers, and our teachers are also our spirit teachers. It is our connection through our meditation where we have received healing and guidance and direction, and in our daily life we allow ourselves to be awake and alert to being guided and led. There is a relationship that's established there, and very often their energies will build to such a degree that they want to just work through us and share what it is that they want to give, what they know that people need. There's different ways of working too. Some people prefer to, they have an experience that week and they go, well, I want to talk about that experience that I had and what it felt like and what I learned from it and how I grew and how we can grow through certain things.
I've heard through Blade that there's message bearing.
Yeah, we also do message bearing. Yeah. So it's they're not readings, they are just simply a message, a touch in from spirit. So sometimes we'll bring in spirit identification. So if it is your mother or father that's coming in, we will try to bring in their information so that you know who the information's coming from, and then we will relay what it is that we are receiving. That would be through mediumship.
Yeah, it's really amazing because I honestly didn't know that there was this kind of church until a couple months ago, which is, it's actually really exciting to me because when I think of church, I think of Christian and Catholic, and I don't have much interest in exploring that religion. But to know that there's another church it's like more my realm, mediumship, self-empowerment.
Yes.
And it's really exciting to know that that exists.
Yeah. I mean, we have people that from the Buddhist philosophies and a lot of Native American energy. The spiritualists, we do adhere to a lot of native energies in general because they were harmonious to the land. They were in tune with their environment. Not that the settlers that came across, creating towns and cities and everywhere weren't in tune, because they had to be. They had to be in tune with whether or not it was going to rain, and that they shouldn't pick up and travel the next day, or that their body was tightening up and telling them something wasn't going to be right on a trail that they were going to pass. I think everybody from back before there was mass communication learned to talk to their environment and learned to listen to their environment, everything, to the water, the animals, the wind, the stars. And so they were always listening. And so we've gotten away from that inner listening, and that is something that we truly align with in a very strong way. Lots of times we'll have like a native guide that will step in to assist us because they had many lifetimes of really working with the animals and plants, etc.
Do you have any advice for people if they want to be able to tune in more to that inner guidance?
Yeah, I think, and I want to say something about the Christian philosophies and ideas. They're beautiful ideas. They might work with Jesus, or like the Catholic energy, Jesus or the Virgin Mary, or the saints, which were, a lot of the saints, because I'd shared earlier today that a lot of the saints had quite a life before they reached their sainthood, and they were very human and very flawed, and they overcame and did great miracles as a result of overcoming their own nature. And so in the Christian philosophy and faith, there is the belief system that you only come to God through Jesus the Christ. But for us, we see that as Jesus as our brother, as our elder brother, through the Christed light, the light that is us, that is part of all of creation. Where a Christian, though, would pray to God and receive answers and have a personal relationship with something higher than themselves, but they would call it God or Jesus. So a lot of it, I guess they would say, we would say that could be somatics in a way. There is an unseen force that works through the universe that is guiding and directing us. And I think that when we lean into that, listen to it, and so in terms of developing or understanding how to do that better, is really paying attention to ourselves, really paying attention to the words we use, to what it is we want to see in our tomorrow, because what's happening tomorrow is from the seeds that are planted today. And we plant those seeds with every word, every thought, every action that we do. The more we become mindful of that, we don't think of it as like being fearful or frightened, or, because we'd stay trapped up in our house forever and not say anything, right? Because we're going to mess up. But we also learn the joy of being a child and running out and playing and falling down, hurting ourselves and learning and growing. And this is just a big school, and we're just here to learn and grow. But the more we pay attention, just like if we want to study any coursework, we read about it, we study it, we live it. And as you start to live it, you bless your water, you bless your food. Everything has vitality. If you're going to eat meat, you would thank the animal that gave its life, but also ask that any fear that the animal had, that it be released from the meat that you're going to ingest. It's a mindfulness.
Yeah, for me, it's letting go of this idea that I need to do something in particular. Like, I need to meditate more. And it's not necessarily just me needing to meditate more. It's just slowing down and listening to myself wherever I am on this journey. Like, I'm like waiting for tomorrow to listen to myself, when we can just start right now. That's
right. It's right now, right here.
Yeah.
It's really by just looking at how did this happen with us today, this is really great and fun.
Yeah.
You have great energy.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. I'm really grateful. I feel like I'm finally stepping into this energy that's always been there, but there's just so much fear.
Yes.
And so much unpeeling the onion of childhood trauma and just observing people and kind of taking on, like, this is how we live our life because that's what they're doing, so this is what I do. But it's really just all these questions and curiosity and just unpeeling so that we can really truly step into
And that's a
who we want to be.
constant. You're constantly pulling away the layers and constantly seeing more and revealing more. We can't take it all in at once. And many people come into this lifetime already with a foundation of having past lives where they dealt with this kind of work or were aware of this way of living. And others come in with many lifetimes of persecution and fear and insecurity and trauma. So they bring that trauma and that energy in. I mean, a lot of people will say, no, my upbringing was great, but I just have always had this lingering feeling in me. As they grow and learn and open up a little bit more, we understand that everything that we're sensing and feeling isn't just from this lifetime.
Yeah.
We're old souls, most of us, that are bringing in a lot of this insight.
Yeah, I've had a couple past lives come through during table tipping, so with other mediums. They've been really profound. And I've had a lot of people tell me about these, like, I used to be this really powerful person in a past life. Part of me wants to be like, well, like, I want to be that powerful person in this life, which it's like, it's an interesting concept of wanting to be something different than I am in this life.
We've all been different rungs on the ladder. Okay?
Yeah, yeah.
We've been the slave and we've been the master.
And I've become very aware of my dreams, and I've been writing down my dreams, and some dreams are a little bit different. I actually had another dream where I was a slave and I died in this tunnel and I was terrified. And I think that dream came up at that point in time so that I can reconcile it and face it and let it go.
Yeah. Yeah, they'll show you what you need to see when you need to see it.
Yeah.
But it's more so staying present and knowing that, where are you powerful at in your energy right now, that you're taking a chance. So if you mess up, you know what? You'll make a different choice.
Yeah.
That's all. We just make a different choice.
Yeah, exactly. And I went through a phase in my life where I wasn't really doing anything. Like, I was so terrified to make a mistake.
Paralyzed.
That I just wasn't doing anything, so I couldn't make a mistake. I've been seeing mediums and psychics for maybe 7 years, maybe over 7 years. So during that time, they were telling me, like, just take a step, like any step, it's okay. So after getting through that fear, and I am making mistakes, and we just had a circle, and Donna gave readings to everyone. Part of my reading was how I get really frustrated, and I'm like clinging to the energy, and like, I want it my way. And it feels like that is a mistake in a way that I've made, but I'm also learning to just love myself through everything.
And there's a higher mind. We don't use the brain as a tool.
Yeah.
All right, so that's all it is a tool. But there is a higher mind and a higher intelligence that is guiding and directing us. And if we can learn to listen to that, we can let go of the reins quite a bit. I love mediumship. I love this work, but one of the things that I don't care for is where somebody would go to someone else, go outside of their own connection. So classes and places where you can meditate and learn to grow and develop and heal, learn to trust yourself are really a wonderful place to start, so that, you get an extended community, but you also, like any class that anybody takes, no matter what the subject, all of a sudden you think about the subject and you're paying attention to it. And everybody in the class is. And so you begin to rise to their level of understanding, and the level of understanding that the teacher has in the class is also what brings in a higher level to the students. And so having a place for constructive growth. Every class is always discernment, that you are your own, only you know what is right for you. And so we discern what feels right for you and what does not. We don't, you do, and so I'm a big proponent of discernment. And while I love readings and mediumship and things of that nature, it can be very addictive, and because we're always out here, and we're not here. Then there are also that right time, that right place where somebody gives something to someone and they just crack open. Yeah. Or they bring in a loved one who shares something that they had just been feeling and thinking about that nobody would have known. Yeah. That only that loved one who has been watching over them would know. Yeah. It's so powerful and so healing.
Yeah, I've had both experiences where I've gone to mediums and it was so profound, and when I first started seeing mediums, it opened me up to this new perception, this new way of living, this new way of thinking, like, wait, what's really going on here? And I've been on the other side where I've seeked external situations and people to heal me. There's been times where I've gone to a bunch of different psychics within like 2 weeks. And what I realized is that I was giving so much of my power to them. What their message to me was so much more important to what I felt inside me. And it was really interesting to see my power kind of dwindle. And I'm like, okay, I am aware where I am right now, and I want to be the most powerful force in my life instead of giving it away to other people. So that's definitely, it's a profound lesson.
It is. I think that in a traditional church where there is a hierarchy, we see a lot of that as well.
Yeah.
And within most religious organizations, because they're just people. But, you know, we try to do our best to put the power is in you and with you, and not feed somebody who is on that track of readings often, because it will just create more imbalance.
Yeah.
And it's real important that you be grounded and you be present and that you learn that inner listening. So a lot of it is more the daily things, the daily work. Just like somebody that's really physically fit, you know, they're more conscious sometimes of their food choices, and they do certain things to keep themselves aligned with that fitness, you know, and this is your spiritual fitness. It's just very seductive. And a lot of churches have done healing and have done prophecy in them in the past, traditional churches, but they stopped because of the level of imbalance that could be created, and people wanting that person or that whoever was assisting, that they were the God of their life. No different than, you know, a minister in any church, somebody would come to them for guidance, and they could become really infatuated with that person as their God or their leader, or that person has to, in order to maintain the power of the church in terms of what they want for everybody within the organization, that it be led in the right direction, that they can start to become too powerful in terms of being the ownership of how things unfold. It really is a collective. A minister is just a figurehead for the congregation, you know, and we're there for service only. How can we serve? But I think that's in anything. It's kind of like when you go to school and you would assume your teacher is going to instruct you well, that your teacher would be balanced and not have proclivities, you know, and it's human nature.
I've even found that I've gotten to this point where I don't care so much to ask questions. Like, I love the messages that you give to me, but at the end when you say, do you have any questions? I find that my questions come from my small self, my ego. They're just like, and I'm realizing that they don't really matter, and that however my life unfolds is perfect, and it's going to be fine. It'll be fine whether I get the answer to this question or not.
You're erasing all the confusion. You know, there's a balance with opening this door. It's funny how many people would have run from the traditional churches or traditional upbringing. But I found, because you know, we were Baptist in the South, Presbyterian. My father was military, so we traveled. So Presbyterian, etc. But I feel that it's really good to have a foundation of understanding, even if it's, you know, without malintent, skewed. You grow. So you know, when they say as you become an adult, you put away your childish ways and you grow, and so you need to bring in that foundation is a good fertile ground for beginning, rather than having nothing. Then it's a foundation for anything. But also to remember that it's just people that are bringing through or trying to facilitate whatever it is, and they're doing the best they know how, and sometimes not doing the best they know how.
Yeah.
Just like life.
Throughout your days, how do your guides typically communicate with you?
Well, sometimes the minute I open my eyes, and sometimes it's a dream that I've had that I'll know that they're sharing insight, something that I need to know about that's coming up, that they want me to have an awareness of. They're usually always in front of whatever I might be experiencing that might take me off balance to let me know, get ready, because I continue to go through things as everybody else does. I'm here evolving and changing just like everyone else. Sometimes they used to play a song first thing in the morning, and they still will, and that
You mean a song in your head?
Yes, and the lyrics would be what I needed for that day. I would always pay attention to that song.
That's really interesting.
Yeah. So but they work differently now, and I carry them with me every moment of my day is with them, whether it's me just enjoying the quiet, me just being thankful that I had a nice rest. I am thankful for everything. Everything is such a blessing, even the crappy stuff. That when I go through that, it's like it stretches you. But I want to grow. I don't want to leave this earth plane without my soul really stretching and learning and growing. And growing pains aren't always fun, but it's interesting. And we learn a lot about ourselves, and we also understand others through those lessons.
The growing pains are really interesting. And they're really interesting when you can just be with them without judging it, without being like, oh, I don't want to be here. Just like, okay, this is here and I feel this. It doesn't feel so great, but what can it teach me?
Yeah, what's its message?
Yeah.
What's it trying to teach me?
Yeah.
What am I not listening to? What am I afraid of?
Yes.
Because sometimes I think we want, can't things just stay the same, and then others just, when are things going to change? It depends on your mantra.
I find that my guides communicate with numbers,
on the clock,
definitely
and
dreams.
stuff. Yeah. They'll do that. I remember before COVID hit, I was seeing 9/11 constantly, and I was like, oh my God, what's going on?
What's
I didn't get worked up. I just thought, okay, I hear you. So I don't always know what's going to happen till we get a little closer, and then they'll usually through meditation will show me.
Okay.
And then I have to try to understand what it is that they just revealed to me, because it is a language of symbols usually, or a vision.
Do you meditate every day?
I used to. I don't every day anymore.
Okay.
No, it's funny because a friend of mine was all about meditation. I meditate every day, forever. And then eventually I was in that state all the time.
Oh.
But the thing is in terms of filling your body with light, sitting down and intentionally connecting to that creative source and allowing it to fill your body with light, that for your overall energetic health is really useful. If they want to show me a visual, they want to show me something, they will. But they found other ways to communicate.
Are your visuals, are they like a dream? Like when your eyes are closed, you literally see something?
Yeah, I'll see it just like a lucid. And it's funny, I went to an event and somebody had said, well, meditation isn't communication, and I thought, but for me it is. But it's also not. I mean, I could sit in the void for 45 minutes and it feels like 10 minutes and I don't know what took place, like what it was about, but I'll know that the next day it's like I'm right on time for everything. Everybody I think of, they call, it's every day. I think of somebody that I call them, I pay attention to all my thoughts because I'm getting insight and information all day long. But I also am entitled to my free space and to not have to be awake to all of that, but I do listen. So if I'm all of a sudden thinking of somebody random, then I know that they either are going to reach out, or if I start to feel like a different kind of a feeling energetically of just an energy that's not me, I'll know that somebody's getting ready that will be contacting me, that's needing some insight usually.
On my journey, I've had to learn a lot about what energy is mine and what energy is someone else's.
Very important.
And I think a lot of empaths struggle with that, that discernment, because we could really take someone else's energy and make it our own and make a huge issue out of it when it was really never ours to
Never
begin
yours.
with.
I know.
It's so fascinating.
Isn't it? I know that's the most important thing, is to learn your own energy.
Yeah.
Very important. That's why just understanding your nature and your proclivities and the way you like to function, and even the ways that aren't good, but you still like to function that way, and why is that? And why am I stubborn about that? Or through meditation, you do get in that calm, centered space into the nothingness, and that is truth. that is the all. And that feeling is like, that's the truth of what everything is. And so as you carry that truth forward, when something else comes around, you'll know that's not me, because you've set with your own vibration enough to know what your vibration is.
Ooh, are you currently working on any projects?
I do energetic transmission sessions.
Okay.
And that's such a mouthful because it comes from my book here, which we'll share. Energetic Transmissions through Spirit Photography, 2nd edition. This book took place kind of through osmosis. I'm not even somebody to take pictures or get them developed.
Yeah.
But for some reason I did. But what was happening is what I was getting in my meditations was coming through in the photographs. And it was like they just kept wanting me to know, we're communicating with you, we're communicating with you. And they definitely were. And, so they would validate what they were showing me, and they wanted that deeper connection. They wanted me to be awake and aware to that. So energetic transmission sessions is an aspect of work that I do because I love healing. I absolutely, people know me for my mediumship, but I love healing. That's my mojo. Because I've had so much healing, and it's where I started, and it's where I learned to be a good listener to the energies. So that's also when you do healing, the healing's doing you, and you are also understanding, feeling, and sensing different things, and having it validated. So the energetic transmissions came in through a series of offshoots of many different modalities that I had learned. I did nothing but the spiritual healing, though, for probably the first 15 years that I was working. And then I started to study different modalities, and they were interesting, and some I loved, and they opened different doorways in my consciousness. What I've found through my energetic transmission sessions is I just don't have to be with the person anymore. I can just talk to them over the phone and see what it is that they're dealing with. They'll either tell me or I'll show them, Spirit will show me what's going on with them. Sometimes I like to look at your energy first so that I'm just getting it without any insider impression from you. And then we will work to clear it, whether it's fear energy, anxiety. I've had quite a few people that were taking big tests that they needed to pass. People that are very cerebral, let's say, right? The day-to-day kind of people. And they wanted to know that, pass their tests. So I would clear all the energies so that they were in harmony with being able to complete what it was that was in front of them. So they would have a lot of shifts and different things happen in their life. A lot of pain leaves right away, a lot of depression, sadness, it just dissolves. So that's a wonderful experience because I feel the energy and so do they.
I opened to this page in this book, and there's a lot of little orbs around. Mm-hmm. And I took this video, and in the video there's like this orb that kind of floats by. But when I was reading part of this book, you mentioned how we all kind of just pass it off as flecks of dust. Mm-hmm. What is this?
Well, I don't think that they're flecks of dust because you can see this long string of light too.
No.
Too many things have come in, but people who do photography professionally will say, no, it's nothing but dust in the air. And true enough, if you look at sunlight, you will see little bits of dust and things coming through the sunlight.
But these are actually circle.
Yes, and there are faces in them. There are designs that come in there. And everything, everything geometric. Nature is all mathematical. Uh-huh. There is geometry in all of nature presenting itself. So many times there would be geometric symbols or different configurations that actually speak to sound, color, and numbers. Numerical. So what would happen though is just if I would just call them in, they would come in, and they would just like come in like, oh, she's here. Okay. It's like I was like a magnet for it. So it was kind of funny, because it was like something that was always around me, but that was showing itself more and showing itself to me more fully. Dimensional configurations, stick people, ET, writing ET in lights. They got really obnoxious with me in a really good way. And it was a time before Facebook was really out, and there was other people that I could really communicate, hey, what's, about what was really occurring to me and with me. And but I've always had phenomena around me. From when I was younger in my work, I had a stigmata experience. So that was very interesting. And I would always find things, whether it was crucifixes, coins, but it was just so obnoxious all the time. I mean, it was just like they were just really constantly like, because once the spirit world gets somebody that will be a worker, they want you to work. And so I'm just so happy they didn't give up on me, and they kept encouraging and nudging me and being obnoxious with me, so that I would know that I was being guided and directed, and that the unseen was becoming seen. And I do see colors, auras, and different energies at times.
Do you
when it's
always?
Appropriate.
Oh,
No, when it's appropriate. Which when I mean appropriate, it's just when they want me to see it, they'll show it to me. And sometimes I don't always know why, but it's like, oh, okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, I was just about to ask. I would want to know why. And maybe that's just my mind that gets...
Yeah. I kind of leave it blank because I let them continue to show me. Like, I know, okay, you're showing me this, I see it, but how it matches and what the energy is about that, then, I let them fill in the space. So I just become a good listener. Okay. I'm just a tool. Like my brain. It's just a tool. I'm just a tool. And they show me what I need to know and everything. And I think clearing out a lot of our prejudices really helps us to see, though, not making something dark, evil, etc. Because if we want to, we can turn on the news and see things of that nature if we want to anyway. But we also don't feed ourselves that as a daily habit because of what it can do to our own energy if we allow ourselves to absorb it. But I have seen things that were different, I want to say, and sometimes things that are lost find the light, right? And they need to know, they're looking for guidance, direction, release, recognition. And also sometimes when we see things that look a certain way, they're not always what we thought they were. Everything that's pretty doesn't shine, and everything that's ugly isn't dirty. Just clearing and allowing ourselves to just be informed.
Yeah, I think that's a profound message, to just listen instead of having to figure it out or to know.
That's right, clearing our prejudices, though, and our blocks and needing to control. Yeah. Don't be in control.
Yeah.
You have, like the Bible says, you have free choice, free will. But by my free will, I choose to align. And so I've already handed over the keys, and that's where my alignment is at. Yeah. I do still get in the way. I find that's like, oh, that's a place where I wanted to still have control or something, Yeah,
I think I'm learning this balance. Well, not even a balance. I'm just learning more about control, because when I look to my external world, I think the majority of people are trying to control things. So it's like, that's what it's taught me to act like. And I'm kind of questioning, well, what degree of control do I need? Like, I feel like I need to have some type of clarity of what I want.
Yeah, they're being funny right now. That's why I'm laughing. Because we have our day-to-day nature that needs to be controlled and addressed,
Yeah, right.
Like, when we have to release something, we go release it, and we, it's like lay in bed, oh, I'm just a tool, tell me to do whatever. But, I do have my own drive, that energy, that vibration that flows through me that's here, that where my soul wants to express itself. And I follow that drive. So, right, in terms of working, let's go back to what am I doing new? I'm going back to doing the transmissions. I was doing a group transmission about a year ago, and then I stopped because I have my own health. Was needing healing, and so, yes.
What is the difference between your transmissions and your readings?
The readings are where I'm bringing insight, but the transmissions actually move energy.
Okay.
So that it's like a reading can give you an understanding and maybe a gentleness and a release and a letting go, but also there is vibration with those readings, because I am bringing in the spirit world, and you can feel them close to you, and you can feel the energy. The healing is powerful. And it builds up, and that is something that is very nurturing, loving, and uplifting to anybody.
Okay.
But the transmissions are where I am actually allowing the spirit world to bring in whatever it is that needs to be shifted and cleared. Okay. And I was doing it for a group of people at a time. And I just had to stop for a while and rest and take care of me. But I feel my energy getting ready to want to get in there and do that more on a broader level, because I would open it with not knowing anything that I was going to do, but opening it and then just allowing Spirit to come in and tell me what everybody needed to hear. And then after I would do that, then I would go in and say, okay, this is what we're going to do, and either take everybody through a meditation and then maybe do the transmission after. I would just follow the energy.
Okay, thank you for that explanation. Yeah. Okay, so I have 2 more things before we wrap it up. One, I noticed you hold this rose quartz. Is that a rose quartz?
Yeah, it's a rose quartz. It's just what I chose for today. This is a little selenite ball.
Okay.
It's pretty nice.
And do they help clear energy, keep energy, attract?
I just like it. I have sat, years ago when I was meditating all the time, I would sit with a crystal and meditate with it in my hand, and I would feel it just kind of become one with my hand. Like, there is no hand. There's no crystal, there's no hand. But I always asked it to share with me whatever it wanted to share with me, to exchange molecules, let's say, right?
Yeah.
And so they would always bring me in that nice exchange.
Yeah.
But I found that when I do my online messages or my weekly, that I just like it.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a comfort, I guess. But I have been drawn to the rose quartz a lot. I want to say probably the last year or so.
Yeah.
But just recently, I've had pine, which is so different, like the pine smell and pine. I'm very drawn to that lately. And so that's telling me that I have a new guide that's stepping in with me. So that essence and that energy is coming in very strong to work with me. And it's funny, I don't know what it's all about, but I know, that's their way of letting me know, hey, we're here, got a new teacher coming in. So you have guides that work with you throughout your lifetime, but then you'll have a new teacher that will step in. Like, say you have a healing guide, but then you're going to learn something else with your healing. So a new guide with more insight, more information is going to step in to take you up to another level.
Yeah.
And so that's how they're coming in now, is with this pine scent. And what happens, it won't just show up once, it'll just be following me around. It's like I found pine lining paper. I didn't find it, it found me. The pine scent, it's just coming around, talking to me. So it's like, lets me know I have a new guide coming in.
Yeah.
So I like that. And it gets me excited because it makes me even know, I'm getting ready to upgrade and shift as well.
It's actually really exciting to know that for our entire life, there's room to change and grow and evolve.
Yeah.
And I like knowing that, because sometimes I'm in this moment and I'm like, I just want to be over there. I just want to be evolved already. But really, it's just the journey, and it's
you never want to be where you don't belong.
You've said that to me many, many times.
Many.
And I remind myself that.
Because many times when I was younger, there were people that were real hot to get me on TV and do this and that. And it's like, you don't even know me, first of all. They were only attracted to my looks. And it was like, you don't know me. But I guess they thought I'd be good on TV, or I'd be good in front of a camera, but I didn't want to be anywhere that I didn't belong. Even my people that were my teachers that were here on the earth plane that were teaching me, they would add me to and have me, as I was sharing in the circle today, that they would have me in the circle working with them, and treated me very much as if I was on the same vibration as they were, which helped me be grounded and feel confident. But I just had training wheels on. I would have people come to me and want me at different times to, and I'd always say, go talk to her, or you should talk to them. And I would always point them in another direction. I knew it wasn't where I needed to be yet.
Yeah.
And so you don't want to try to speak on something that you don't have a real grounded experience in, because even though I might have a grounded experience in the work I've been doing for 30 years, I'm still learning, and I honor the way that I learn, and I honor what I know for me to be correct, because through trial and error, I know that that's what I should be doing. There are a lot of wonderful teachers out there, though, that really have a lot to give.
Yeah. And then the last thing I want to say is, I met Donna at a psychic fair in, I think it was North Park, right? Mm-hmm. And I was helping at someone's table, and the whole day I knew I wanted to get a reading. So I was just observing everyone, like, who should I get a reading by? I like when I see someone crying during their reading, because then I know that that's probably a really good psychic or medium. So that's why I sat down with you. And it just immediately, it was an amazing reading. And I don't exactly remember everything, but I know you started talking about getting on a bigger platform and talking and sharing and interviewing. And it was just an amazing reading. And that's what I want to say. If you're interested in a reading or a transmission from Donna, where can people reach you?
On my website, revdonnalopez.com.
Awesome.
Yeah, and they can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and I've just now started playing around on TikTok.
You're on TikTok?
I know,
How
66,
exciting.
and this is my new thing. It's like, yeah, and it's kind of. I actually, my hit was just the opposite of like, God, I just want to withdraw from all of it because it becomes, sometimes it's becoming work, and I don't want it to be work. I want it, my energy needs to flow, and but also I do know that I want to impart as much as I can. I have grandchildren, and I want to leave them with something.
Yeah, that's exactly. Well, I don't know if this is how you feel, but I feel that sometimes it's really addicting, and I don't want to be on it so much. But I also realize and see that the majority of the world is on it. So if I can put out content that's has a little more consciousness and awareness, just something of value that can bring happiness and joy, or just another perspective to people's lives, that I'm willing to do that. I'm willing to be on there for that.
Yeah. My best friends were 80 when I was 40, and I loved them because they were so knowledgeable, so grounded, so centered, and had their little personality ways too. And I know that, they've gone now, and now I have my little personality ways, but they fed me, and they fed me spiritual truth, and they supported me in my own growth. They didn't do the work for me, but just their energy helped me grow. And I really feel whatever we do in life, if we can feed others, those that are coming after us, that they have something substantial, something to land on that helps them be more in tune with themselves and have a more peaceful, prosperous life in terms of being able to spread your wings and fly and discover and grow and not be in a rush. Take your time and digest. What you ingest, it's got to be digested, and then it will show up around you, and you will know, was that useful to me or was it not?